Hello everyone, welcome to Alfie's Agriculture. Here we have Ellie in the background. Ellie, say hello.
Hello.
Oh yeah. Today is just going to be a bit of a different video. It's more of an update video, just because it's getting to that point where we've basically done everything we need to do. You know, we've built the compost bins recently, which we've just topped up with grass, which Ellie's cutting. I'm not making her do that, for the record. She's doing that by choice. She just really enjoys the little hand tool that we've got. So, you know, if she wants to do it, let her get on with it. I'm not going to complain. So yeah, it's just an update video because we have done quite a lot recently off camera. Just because as reality sets in a bit more with the allotment, you don't have as much time as you think, unless you're here like every day, which I was, but I'm not anymore, just because I'm a bit more busy nowadays. So I'm just going to walk you through all the plants that we've planted, because there's a lot of plants that have been planted off camera which you guys haven't seen yet. And meanwhile, we can look at cutting some grass. So obviously you guys remember the first bed, the first entryway just here, and the first bed next to it. We've got nothing planted over there. That's all just wild weed stuff. But here we've got some carrots. They're actually rainbow carrots. If you look on just there, that little marker, it's got loads of different colours of carrots, which as far as I'm aware, doesn't affect the taste of the carrots. It's just the colour of the outside of them. So we got them a pack of, well, all of these basically for £2 at B&Q, which is a British like hardware store. So that was a good find. If we move on to the second bed, there's still nothing planted in there. All the green things you're seeing are just weeds that have grown just through the soil. But we're hoping to get the peppers in there at some point. It is the time to do it apparently, but we just haven't gotten around to doing it basically. Moving on to the third bed, we have our lovely garlics. They are struggling. I'm not sure why. They are just all going yellow, so that's not great. But what can you do? So we've just left them. But here we've got spring onions. So these big grown ones we also got from B&Q. They were already like pre-grown. And then all these smaller ones here, they're the ones that we grew in the seed trays at home. And then we've just transplanted them. They're in bunches. I know it says on the seed packet to do them in rows, but I also saw another video where people just plant them in bunches like that, and then you can pick them all at once. You get like 5 at a time. So we're giving that method a go. So all of them are spring onions. And then next we have, which one's this? Oh, these are shallots, or shallots, as some people call them. These, as you can see, were also pre-grown at B&Q. So we just planted them straight into the ground. And then we've got leeks as well. So basically all sorts of alliums in here, basically. I'm not sure if leeks are classed as alliums, but the rest of it is alliums. So yeah, that's the allium bed. And then in here, this is the carrot and parsnip bed. This is not all carrots and parsnips, all this green stuff. This is weeds, but the carrots are growing now. As you can see here, this is a carrot plant. This is another one that's growing a bit more, and then we've got a couple over there, that one, and that one. And they are growing in rows, we can see them. It's just at parts we've pulled out the weeds, but we have some other parts that we need to pull the weeds out as well. You've got to be really careful not to pull out the carrot with it as well. And then also in the parsnip section, these ones, these different like lighter shades of green, these are parsnips, and they're going along sporadically in all 3 rows as well, so they're coming through as well. So that's a good sign, because we thought that they'd failed, but yeah, they've done well. And then we get to the monstrous potato bed. Just look at it. It is so successful. Well, we hope so. We haven't actually obviously dug it up yet, but from the looks of it, these plants are doing very well. I've headed them off 4 times, and they just, every time, like I come back 3 days later and they're a foot above the ground. So it's gotten to the point where if I fill it any more with dirt, we're actually going to be like overflowing the bed with dirt. So I've just stopped there for the season, and this is as far as they're going to be headed off. So it may limit their growth, but from what I can see, they're big enough. I mean, look at them, they're massive. I mean, here's my knee, and it's up to here. So that's 2 feet tall. So they're doing well. They're doing very well. Moving past the extension which we built last episode, we have some pots that Ellie has planted some flowers in. That one got eaten. It's still alive a little bit. That one's just dangling. It was like that when we planted it. It's not very strong. And then these ones are doing okay. And then in the Cornhouse, we have our pea plants, which have absolutely exploded, and they're so big. that they've actually reached the first levels of their frames, and this one I'm going to have to put more like cross beams on because it's doing very well. So the peas are growing well, and for the rest of it, we did have cabbage and lettuce planted along here, but that all got eaten by slugs and snails. I'm not sure what we're going to plant here yet, and that area is going to be for corn, which I'll get to in a minute. And then coming along to the front, my father thinks this is rosemary. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on rosemary, but it could be. Yeah, I think this is rosemary. We're not 100% sure. My father thinks it is. If you guys know, let us know in the comments. And then moving on to the front of the cornhouse, where we have the patio and the flower bed. We've got a bunch of flowers that Ellie have planted. They're all decorative flowers. None of them are like vegetables or anything. And we basically just got the biggest array of different colours that are all nice and vibrant and mix them into the bed. So if you want to, you can pause and look at the flowers that are in there. And then also we've got the boot brush as well. We've got that down on the patio just here. So in case you come out of the muddy green cornhouse, you can, brush all the mud back off out of your way. So here's the cornhouse from the outside. I'm not going to bother moving all that stuff. It's a nightmare to get this out of the way. So I'm just going to leave that. And then in front of the shed, we've got the 3 trees. This one was planted here, but I moved it, so now it's even. It is suffering now though, but hopefully it'll grow back. And then we've got 4 plants that are still in their pots that we're going to plant in between them as well, just as a nice decorative feature. And then we've got 2 hanging baskets, which were done about a month ago now, and they've got a bunch of things growing in them. Hopefully some of them are flowers, we'll see. And then in the potting shed, at the current moment, we've got flowers, but they're not succeeding, unfortunately. 2 flowers here, some other flowers that haven't succeeded. We did do 2 sunflowers, but they got eaten by snails and slugs. Once again, we hate them. We've got another tray of spring onions, which we might also plant into the ground, depending on how big they grow, as long as they're successful, because I'm sure some of the ones in the bed are going to, die out, so we can replace them with the backup ones in here. These are both corn, but none of them, not a single one, has sprouted. So we've bought some new corn plants, some new corn seeds at home, and we're going to plant them into some peat pots today, because hopefully that will do a better job. And I also just read on the back of the new seed packet that we got is that you're supposed to plant them in pairs. I don't know why. If someone could let us know why you're supposed to plant them in pairs, that'd be great, because I actually have no clue. Coming over to the greenhouse, we've got the raspberry plant that my friend Dan kindly bought for us. Thank you, Dan. That is just nice growing on the outside, just so it can get rainwater. And then on the inside of the greenhouse, we've got an abundant flora of plants. So we've got a bunch of tomato plants. All these yellow flowers, I believe, are going to turn into tomatoes. And then we've got all these purple stalked plants down at the bottom are red cabbage. And then we've got my peppers, cucumber, squash, and chilies all down there, which are still loving life. And then we've got some broccolis at the back, I believe they are. So yeah, they're doing well, all in there. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today's video. Just more of a relaxed week today. This week. And we should be getting back to it next episode. It's just a chill week this week, where we're just doing some upkeep, trimming the grass. We've been planting plants and just making sure everything's done before it's too late, because most plants need to be in by May time, which it is very close to. Today is the 25th or 6th? 25th, I think. So yeah, definitely cutting it close. But yeah, we'll leave it there for today. So thank you for watching, and adios. Deuces.